Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Katie Asco from Dublin, Ireland, and these are your latest headlines from around the world. The conflict between Israeli security forces and Palestinian terrorists has intensified, despite the appeals of various church leaders, including the Patriarch of the Latin Church. So far, 6 people have died in Israel and 43 in Palestine. The Israeli airstrikes on Gaza and Hamas rocket attacks on Tel Aviv on Wednesday, May 12th, are the deadliest since 2014. Fearing the outbreak of yet another war, the UN is attempting to broker peace. The violence escalated following tension in Jerusalem during the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan, with clashes between Israeli police and Palestinian protesters. Leaders of both sides have exchanged strong words. Meanwhile, on behalf of the Catholic bishops of England and Wales, Bishop Declan Lan has called for an end to the occupation and human rights violations that obstruct a stable and peaceful future for Palestine and Israel. The bishop, who is the chair of the International Affairs Department of the Episcopal Conference, reiterated their commitment to the internationally recognized status of Jerusalem, the status quo of its sacred sites, and the equal rights of Jews, Christians, and Muslims in the Holy City. The prelate also urged support for the humanitarian organizations that are working tirelessly to save the lives of people caught in the conflict. Pledging prayers for an end to the airstrikes and missile attacks, Bishop Declan echoed the words of Pope Francis, who said, "Every act of violence committed against a person is a wound in humanity's flesh." Almost half a century after the infamous Ballymurphy massacre in Belfast, a judge in Northern Ireland has ruled that the 9 lay Catholics and a priest who were gunned down by British troops were indeed innocent. To date, British authorities have referred to the victims of the infamous incident as terrorists. However, Justice Siobhan Keegan delivered her findings on Tuesday, May 11th, bringing an end to a 50-year campaign led by the victims' families. Bishop Noel Traynor of Down and Connor, who accompanied the families to the inquest, said truth had been heard and history will record the innocence of their loved ones. Referring to Father Hugh Mullen, who was killed by the troops, Bishop Traynor said the priest was gunned down while administering last rites to parishioners. The shootings took place after detention without trial was introduced in the nation. The Communist government of China has stepped up its persecution against Christians. Since last month, government authorities have deleted Christian content on the internet as well as on social media, including discussions on the history of the Communist Party, which go against the official narrative. Christians were finding it difficult to upload religious videos and themes on the internet during Holy Week, and on April 14th they were notified that music with sensitive religious themes would be removed from web portals. Officials have recently said that 2 million posts have been deleted for containing, quote, historical nihilism, a term the government has coined to describe discussions which challenge the official party version of history. The governor of the U.S. state of Idaho has signed a bill into law that bans state funding for abortions or anyone affiliated with such services. Opponents of the bill say that it violates the Casey versus Planned Parenthood ruling, which says that any regulation that prevents a woman from getting a legal abortion violates her constitutional right to an abortion. In Idaho, there are 3 facilities where abortions are performed, and they are all run by Planned Parenthood. Governor Brad Little, who signed the legislation, is a pro-life politician who aims to protect the sanctity of life by whatever means possible. The Catholic bishops of the Philippines will reconsecrate the nation to the Immaculate Heart of Our Lady on her feast day, June 12th, which also happens to be the nation's Independence Day. Archbishop Romulo Valles, who heads the Episcopal Conference, will lead the reconsecration from Davao Cathedral, followed by Mass at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Fatima in Valenzuela. After the post-communion prayer, dioceses and parishes across the Philippines will specially reconsecrate themselves to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. This year, the nation is marking the 500th anniversary of the arrival of Christianity. Since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, the Church in Mexico has tragically lost 5 bishops, 220 priests, 11 deacons, and 8 female religious. Dozens of priests succumbed to the virus while they were carrying out their pastoral work. The Archdiocese of Guadalajara is hit hardest, having lost 24 diocesan priests. It is followed by the Archdiocese of Mexico, where 21 priests and Auxiliary Bishop Rivera Sanchez have lost their lives to the virus. With the number of COVID-19 cases now declining, the government has allowed churches to reopen with a limited number of worshippers. A fire has broken out in the Cathedral of the Assumption of Our Lady in Budzla, Belarus. This is a prominent Marian sanctuary in the Eastern European nation where Catholics are a minority. Eyewitnesses say the fire started in the roof around 8 a.m. local time, causing it to collapse. However, parishioners and firefighters were able to rescue holy objects from the cathedral, including its prized possession, a 16th century icon of the Blessed Mother, which is venerated by both Catholic and Orthodox believers. They were also able to rescue the cathedral's organ before flames were brought under control in the afternoon. Every August, Catholics from across the nation take pilgrimage on foot to the Minor Basilica to venerate the sacred icon. A local bishop has appealed to believers to restore the shrine to its pristine glory. Those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow and visit SWNews.org for more updates. Shalom.